Welcome to Naked, the podcast about authenticity. We are here with Matt and Phil, the two diesel guy that sometimes take a bit of time to warm up and discuss about different topics, whether it's about relationship, love, Christmas, or stuff that we're not afraid of, like women. How are you doing, Matt?
Nice intro. I'm good. How are you doing? You sipping on beer?
No, on kombucha. Feel a bit weird. I think we need to enter directly the subject, so that way we can talk about it. I think it's something that you feel sometimes.
There you go.
Is this weird feeling that you have? Sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes it's just feeling drained by stuff that could be happening. I
can totally relate.
And I've been feeling a bit like that. I'm feeling drained right now. I tried to meditate earlier, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Tried that. It helped, but not totally. Went for a run, helped, but not totally. I tried all my tricks, run, didn't work, workout, didn't work, meditation, didn't work. So I'm having a podcast with you now.
There you go. That's the ultimate solution. All right. First, do you sleep? Do you sleep well?
Yes and no.
Do you sleep at all? And if yes, how long? And if and after, what's the quality of your sleep?
I say I will sleep 6, 7. But before asking this question, because you feel like you say you can relate. So how do you translate this feeling? Because I have trouble to translate it.
To transfer well, I mean, I don't know what you're feeling, but I guess it would be some kind of overwhelmment. Just a feeling of being buried under pressure or under, just the feeling of inadequacy and just not being able to do what you want to do, or feeling repressed by energies that you don't want to have to deal with. Accepting things in your life that you should not accept, feeling you're not respecting yourself, feeling you're not loving yourself, you're not really being yourself. I mean, I can go on and on. I feel all these feelings all the time.
Have a response D, all of the above.
All of the above.
Who wants to be a millionaire, No, that's yeah. I think it talked to me when you say inadequacy, things that you're pressured about, things that are happening that you should maybe not accept, things that you have to deal with you don't want to deal with. I can resonate.
Yeah. And in fact, when I was talking about the sleep, it was a bit of a joke, because normally, in my experience, if I don't feel well, my sleep's not gonna be good, which in turn would give me less energy, which makes me feel worse. So it's kind of a tricky thing. It's really important to try to sleep correctly because it helps, but it's just like it's just either a booster or something that makes it worse. It's not the cause of the problem. It's not the root of the problem. And oftentimes when I finally burst a bubble or finally fix a problem, then boom, I'm start sleeping well again.
When does it happen to you? Kind of wonder, because it's weird for me to understand myself. I need to understand like people, and this is how it makes me understand mine. So I would say, I mean, when it's kind of often for me. Let's say if I just take the past year, I would say on average every 2 months, and maybe a bit more.
but let's say on average every 2 months, I get a period where I feel I'm like getting in the bushes, like I'm going out of my path. That is the one that I feel well, that my well-being is high, I feel aligned, things are clear, my focus is good, and then I kind of deviate from the path slowly and slowly and slowly. And at some point, you just hit the ditch and the bushes, and you're like, "Fuck!" And then you feel like shit, and you don't really know what's going on. And the faster that you stop and that you just go inside, assess what's going on, because you always have the answer inside when you just stop and you go search for them, and then you get the answer. You're like, okay, maybe I'm doing that I should not do. Maybe I've taken the burden of someone else on my shoulder. Maybe I'm not respecting myself in that. Maybe I've taken way too much work, and some of that I don't want to be dealing with, and like all of that. And then when you assess, you're like, okay, no, I'm making the changes, and then whoop, slowly I come back into my path, and then there's this moment where, oh, I just feel this weight going down, and things go flowing again really
Mm-hmm.
easily.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably just a bad driver. I'm on the path, and then I go and I get to sleep, and I go into the bushes, and I have to come back after. But now I have to say I how do you say that? I kind of catch myself faster now, and I feel I have better tools to, or maybe I got better tires on my car, so I don't go as much in the bushes. Like I have a big fucking jack Jeep, and then it's easy to. I feel the bushes, but then I'm like, okay, let's just go back in the path, and then it's easier and easier, I would say. And I
Yeah.
stay less. I stay shorter times in the bushes than what I was before. That I can
I
that
guess
I know.
my first question will be, do you think, because I've been thinking about that a lot today, do you think you can avoid being in the bushes, feeling overwhelmed like that, or feeling inadequate? Or do you think it's normal?
I'm going to ask you that question. Do you think that Buddha was 24 hours, 7 days a week, happy? And
No.
well, you see, if even Buddha was not, you shouldn't.
I mean, I
And
don't know. I didn't know him
it's
personally, but
come on.
we didn't share tea. But
Come on. I'm sure
I
you met him online.
um, no, I don't believe you can be like always on the high person like that, or you're drugged. You know, that's the only way.
Yeah,
That's the only way.
exactly.
Or if you know, if what they say is true, you know, because they say like you need to be. And we were having this discussion with a friend at noon that you need to be not attached to the outcome, or you need to be. And it's funny because sometimes does it mean that you don't care? And so if you don't care, you know, you have no attachment. So it's almost like it's the opposite, you know, because if you care about something, obviously you're going to be attached to it, and so you're going to be attached to the outcome, and maybe you're going to put, you know, pressure on yourself, or you're going to put, you know, stuff on yourself that will make you feel inadequate and make you feel um, that you have to save everyone, or you know, whatever thing that you have that makes you fear of not succeeding, or fear of so no, to answer your question, I don't believe that Buddha was 24/7 happy. Um,
you
um,
you uh, you brought up something really interesting about the difference between caring and saving, and that's really a good one. And I think a lot of people struggle with those definitions. And in fact, I believe that most of the people, they don't know what caring uh, about someone is. They think that caring about someone is putting yourself away, forgetting yourself, giving all you got for the other person, um, like sacrificing yourself for the other. When you care about someone, you're gonna do what they want and less of what you want and all. And
Oh, you mean all the
that's
all the
so
crap that are in the movies and TV show?
the what?
The crap that is in the movies and the TV shows?
I don't know what it means. The crabs.
The crap, not crabs.
Oh, the crap.
Crabs, that would be weird.
Yeah. No, but seriously, it's. I think we touched on that in another episode, but it's really that savior complex, and for me, caring about someone, that definition has evolved so much, so much. Um, First, when you care about someone, it's because you love someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to go a step further and say, okay, what is loving someone? Because if you don't define loving someone correctly, then you won't define caring for someone correctly. And in fact, sometimes it's so wrong, the definition, that you're doing the total opposite of caring and loving someone when you do action of caring. And you're frozen in the screen right now.
You
Oh,
too,
you're
but that's
back.
okay. I
All
can
right.
still hear you. Don't worry about it. Continue.
um, I'll tell you my definition of loving someone is really simple. It's to want the other person to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Is to want the other person to fulfill their desire, to attain fulfillment in their own lives. And that's it. That's the only definition I have. If I love you, I want you to be happy. I want you to fulfill your dreams. I want you to explore this world, to experience this life the way you want it, the way you want it, you want to explore it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remove yourself from this equation, because if loving you is wanting you to be happy, if tomorrow you need to be happy to go live in a monastery for 10 years without any outside contacts, well, if I love you and if I care about you, I have to push you to do it. And I have to say, that's exactly what you have to do. And even if I'm going to lose my friend for 10 years, and it's not really losing, but I cannot have any contact with you,
Mm-hmm.
caring about you would be making sure that you're going to do what you're supposed to do and what you feel that that's what you need to do for your own happiness and fulfillment, even if it would hurt me to not see you and talk to you for 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people have the definition wrong. Because and I can take it a step further. If Jamie is happy with me right now and I love her and I want her to be happy, if tomorrow she meets a man on the street and instant lightning struck coup de foudre, she just start feeling inside of her that she needs to explore in that direction, well, the highest form of caring that I could have for her would be to let her go, would be to say, will that make you happy? Yes. Well, I love you, so you should go.
But you
I
see,
would
this is
do
where
that.
this is where I see the link with the overwhelming and everything, because to follow that path and be yourself, as you like to say, and say, okay, I want someone to be happy because I'm a caring person and I care about those people and everything. It means that you're going to say things to those people that are a bit sometimes contradictory to what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Take the example of Jamie again, right? You're going to say, go for it, go see these other guys because you will be happier. But in your head, it will be, I want to stay with you because I still want to have you in
Fuck
my
yeah.
life. And this is
Fuck
where
yeah,
it's
that's for
this
sure.
is where it's hard, because you get at this same time, and this is sometimes where you get overwhelmed, right? It's because you're trying to do actions that are whether it's in professional, personal, family, loving relationship, whatever, and you're not necessarily, you believe that you're doing what is right in the sense of your personality, and you receive sometimes a feedback, and this is where it's hard to get, I believe. It's hard to continue on your path when, and generally when we talk about the path of the entrepreneur, I can make a link also to that. This is where it's super hard, because you want to go that way, but people are telling you all the time you will not succeed. And this is why sometimes it's hard to not feel overwhelmed. It's hard to not feel tired. It's hard to not feel drained. It's hard to continuing to believing in what you want and what you want to accomplish. I know I sound kind of sad when I'm saying that, but it's just because I have so many experiences where it's like it was that it's I remember my family when I was a kid, when I was saying I want to go somewhere else than our city, and I want to earn a lot of money and everything, because I come from a working family, working class, and I wanted to offer stuff from my family, from my mom and from my family, and my family was like, no, you will do just like us, you will go to maybe you will go to university, and maybe, and it bring me a certain rage inside me, a certain fire where it's like, no, I'm gonna do it, and I will do it. But I have always this cyclical thing that is coming back, almost, I will not say every month, but I will say like every month and a half, where I'm like, I'm drained. And it's almost like my brain needs to make a break, or like 2-3 days. And yeah, it goes faster afterwards, but it's like, look, I need just to stop. Like it's almost like we're going through the mountain. I need to stop. I need to breathe, and we can go again. And this is why I was asking this question: is it possible to avoid it? And my experience is telling me no.
I also think no. I also think it's necessary. It's just part of it. It's just part of knowing yourself even better. Because if you don't take time to stop and think about what's going on, to just update your life, everything is in evolution all the time. So after 1 or 2 or 3 months, so many things have changed, and it's a continual circle of being at ease, understanding yourself well. Then your environment change, some things change, and you have to adapt, and there's an adaptation period where that's why I said, like, the faster you stop and you go in to check what has changed, what am I doing correctly, what I'm not doing correctly, and then you do the adjustment. The faster you go back on the well-being track, and that you feel at ease, you feel strong. I mean, everyone, every like, just remember all the books that you read on success, on entrepreneurship and everything. They, even the most focused people that you look like, that you think they're so amazing and everything, they also need to stop at some point, a couple times a year, and they go on vacation to just stop and reset. And we need that. We're like that. I mean, I since the beginning of the episode that we talk about that, I had this image in my mind, that cheesy quote that, like, uh, I don't know if it's a quote, but it's like, if it's like an electrocardiogram of your heart, and the heartbeat do a bump up and then a bump down, and then you come back to the middle line, and that
Yeah.
means you're alive, right? So you have ups and downs, and if you have nothing, that's where you're dead. But if you have
Mm-hmm.
ups and downs, that's where you're alive. So I just feel it totally relate to life for real. That's exactly what it is. You will have ups and down, and in both up and in the down, you will find different things about yourself. You will you, you will when you're in the up, sometimes you take less time to feel how you're doing. But for me personally, when I'm really up, that's where I'm the most grateful, and
Mm-hmm.
that keeps me in that up because I feel so good. And I go inside and I feel like all the things that makes me feel good, and I'm so grateful. And then this curve go down, and in these moments I'm like, okay, what is going on with me? I'm less thinking about the gratefulness, but I'm more thinking about what inside of me is. It almost always go down to, what am I not respecting
What am I
that
doing wrong?
I am?
How do you deal with it when that
Well,
happens? When
not
you
what am I doing
say,
wrong, but in who in who
yeah,
uh,
wait.
I'll come to it. It's just like in who I am, in who I am, there's these things that I'm doing that is not respecting who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when there's problem. That's where I get off to the bushes. Every time I I try to be someone else, or every time that I accept things that in the deep of my core doesn't fit with who I am, the more I do it, the more I go in the bushes. And the more I come back and I make the change to be exactly who I am, then it flows. And I start back feeling happy. I start back uh, feeling in motion, in just flowing. Just everything is simple, everything is easy when I'm exactly who I am, and I respect what I am and also what I am not. And by doing that, I also project that onto the other people.
Mm-hmm.
So the more I respect who I am, the more I respect who people are, which is really the feedback that I get when you look at someone and you talk at someone, and they can feel that you respect exactly who they are. They feel uplifted. And when you do that to yourself, that's exactly how you feel. The more you respect who you are, the more uplifted you feel. And you see right away what you're doing that is outside of the boundaries of who you are to be at your highest um, energy. Let's just say that. So your question was like, how do you deal with that? How you come back? Um,
I had another question while you were talking, but it's okay. I'm afraid.
yeah. No, it's fine. But the answer, you know the answer, and I come back to that all the time. And I was thinking about, I was talking about that with a friend yesterday, and the first step, the first step is being aware. Like I said, you stop, you assess what's going on. The second step, in my opinion, is the most important. The second step is to be compassionate toward yourself. You don't make yourself wrong to have gone into the bushes.
Yeah,
That's
that was my question, because we always
yeah.
say, we always say, be yourself, have fun, and we always say, and you especially, I mean, have fun. I say that also, but it's your motto, and I love this motto. Um, but I guess sometimes it's pretty hard to think, okay, I want to be myself, and sometimes you get emotional about stuff, and sometimes you feel that you're unbalanced because you see the way you react that you're unbalanced, that maybe some stuff or digging something into you, and you can't react at your best behavior. and you may have regrets after also, or you're feeling down, or whatever the feeling that we've been talking until now. But I think it's still you. It's still you. Like, for example, last week I had trouble during the podcast, and we talked about it after. But I think it was still me, the fact that I have trouble during that podcast.
Totally.
It's almost like I'm beating myself, because it's like, oh yeah, it's not you. You shouldn't have. I told you that. I remember I told you that with because I was talking about an ex. Hey, woo! Look at this guy. I was talking about an ex, and I was telling you, I remember the discussion perfectly. I was in front of a whiskey bar waiting for someone to have a drink. It was a business meeting. I was waiting, and I arrived earlier, and we had this chat during 1 hour. We didn't chat in like 3 months, I think, something like that. Like, we didn't chat in quite some time. And I remember, because I told you like this sentence that said, I reacted that way, and I know it's not me. I told you exactly those words. I said, like, I reacted that way. I don't remember what was the reaction, but it doesn't matter. I reacted that way, and I know that it was me. So I'm pissed at myself, because I know that it was me. It wasn't me. And you are like, I remember, because your answer was so simple, and at the same time it pissed me off. Because it was so simple. It was just classic Mathieu. Man, I'm listening to you, and where is your compassion? Where is the compassion in what you're saying? So then, like, you tricked me, because it was like like being on target, and I was like, what do you mean? And you're like, what I'm hearing is that when you explained to me, you're like, when you had that, it was you. So then suddenly I came into this rabbit hole in trying to justify myself. And then you were just like, you were just nailing down the stuff again and again. You were just nailing down the fact that I was not compassionate. And it's really that I believe that when you're overwhelmed, or when you're not feeling good, or when you're drained, I think that's you, and I think that's normal. And I'm saying that to me. So I'm talking to myself right now. But I'm also saying that to the people that are listening. So yeah, this is what just like came out from what you just said.
It's it can be tricky. From what I understand of it, and from what I believe, is that you cannot think in one dimension to be able to understand that. You have to think in like multiple dimensions that are interlocked together. And what I mean by that is that there's the you, which is the true essence of feel, the highest pure, let's call it your soul, just for the purpose of the exercise, okay? There's your soul, which in your soul contains all that you really are in the core of yourself. It's even hard to explain, right? And then there's the you physical, which have thoughts, words, action, interactions in this world, and everything is you. It's just that there's this bigger you that is the outside, and there's this inside you, which is the core of the true you. But when you go in life and you say things that you would not want to say, or you do things that you would not want to do, and you're like, that's not me. You have to understand that it's you in a way, because it's not outside of you. It's you who said this thing. It's you who taught these things. But what you really want to say in this moment is, it's not the true me. It's not aligned with my source of who I really am. And if I had to choose, I would not say these things, I would not act these things, but I'm human and it happened. And since it happened and you lived it, it means it's you. It's part of you. It's part of your experience. So that's why I say it's two dimensions that are together. There's the you that's the essence and the pure you, and there's the you which is what you live. Those are both you, but there's the human you and the soul you, and they are locked together in this life. So what you feel when you say it's not me, what you feel, what you really, your body's telling you is it's not aligned with my true me. I'm off. I'm off. But it's still me. It's part of me, but I'm off of the true me. And that's where you feel bad and you're like, fuck, that's not me. But that's where compassion come into play. For me, compassion is really simple. Compassion is understanding that you are not a soul that come from the essence of God that can be perfect in this world at all. You're human. And being human, if you want to have a nice human life, you cannot remove the compassion out of the equation. The compassion is like your true you, the soul that came into this body that is telling you, hey, that's okay, man. Me, the soul, I'm perfect. I'm flawless. I am the highest form of what you could be. But you are not the soul right now. You are the physical human body of, and I'm just the soul that inside. So the soul bring you the compassion. It says, hey, you have limits, okay? You have a brain, you have limits in this physical world. And since you have limits, you have to be compassionate with you that sometimes you cannot do what you want to do, or you say what you would not want to say. And you have weaknesses. You're not pure. You're not the perfect thing that your soul and your essence is. You're just an extension of it in a physical body that has limits. And all these limits, you need to have compassion for them. And when you have that, you connect back to your source. You say, okay, I didn't want to say that. I said it. That's what happened. And since it happened, it's part of me. Is it aligned with what I would really want in the highest, my highest desire? No, but I am human, and everybody's human, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be better next time. That's it.
I feel I need to bring another dimension to this discussion,
Yeah,
which is exactly
totally.
what you talked about, which is the look of the others and the expectation from the others in there. Because you're right in everything that you say, but I believe that your soul can be tainted. And what I mean by that is the fact that people are really quick at finding weaknesses in people and at seeing what they want to see when they want to see it. The discussion I was telling you about, is that it's funny how people are capable to forget everything that a person is just because of one reaction. And it's funny how some people are capable to jump on you directly and judge you because of it. And generally they're going to say they don't judge, but because with it, right? Obviously. This is why I think the second part is going to be interesting, because we're going to look at that from the other side. I think it's tiring sometimes. The expectation of people towards you is tiring. And I think this is why I am so I'm so careful with the people that I have around me. I think this is why. Because I learned that. I'll learn that from school. I'll learn that from university. I'll learn that at work. And the people that are close to you, need to be capable to see you the same way. You know, we need to be capable, kind of almost seeing your soul, and not just, you know, one reaction at one time. I believe, and this is why it's so hard to have people around you that are capable to really accept you, whatever the situation, and that if you're feeling down, you can still talk to them and be like, "Hey, you know what? Not feeling good," and people will be like, "Okay, okay." But sometimes also those people will be like, "Look, I'm not feeling good also, so I can't help you, right?" Because I'm feeling shit right now, so it's I can't help you right now. Um, but it's I feel that we come back to a society problem here, and this is why I want to bring it's this having this perfect life and this perfect image, flawless, dreamy experience about everything that you have in every relation with every people. For example, that um, I don't know, with your friend is just has to be fun. You just have to go out and have fun. Same in relationship. Not just, you know, not be yourself totally, you know, not have real discussion, not being sad. So you're not gonna see them when you're sad, you're gonna stay at home because you don't want to see them. Because if you see them, they're gonna see a part of you that they're not gonna accept, you know, a little bit. Or if you're feeling down, you don't want to see them again, same thing, because you don't want to show that, because if they have just this image of you that is fine and not the rest. So I believe it can be tainted, and this is what it's hard, and this is what it's tiring. So I just wanted to say that, and I just want to see your reaction on that because I saw you smiling when I said that. So.
Well, I I agree totally with everything that you said, but one thing, and that one
Oh,
thing is that your soul is tainted. For me, that can be further away from the truth. Your
you
soul
don't
is
think it can
pure.
be tainted?
No, it's not. I think it's an error to think that it would be your soul or your pure essence that is tainted. It's everything that's part of you that's outside of that. What is tainted is your brain. Is what is tainted is the physical you, the what you are, in how you've been raised, every pattern you have. Like, it's something, the source is like the core, is the seed of you, and it's when it starts to grow that
Okay.
everything that interacts with that tree can taint. But it can be tainted super low, which taint all the tree, but it's not the source. It's not, in my opinion, the your soul and your essence and the true you is not tainted. It can't be. That's what I believe. I believe it can't be. I believe it's after that. It's the step after. It's in your brain. It's in your thinking. It's in the pattern you have built in your life. But because just think about it. Like, is a child at 2 weeks old tainted? No.
It's
And
not
he's
because
just
we had
the pure expression.
yeah, this discussion. This is why I had this discussion like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, and I said exactly that example, so it makes me laugh.
Exactly.
Exactly as an
Exactly.
example.
So so it is not tainted. It's a it's a part of you, of that physical you, that is tainted. um and it can be really tricky. In fact, we think so much that we are this. We think so much that me, Matt, looking in the mirror, what I see, that's who I am completely. We think so much as our body, or our life, who we are here, our ego, or the I is the entire. It's entirely us. But when you start, in fact, it helped me. It helped me. The minute I started kind of thinking that there's a metaphysical source, and the essence of me come from there. and that is separated. It, I'm not like going into the religious thing or do we have a soul or not or whatever. I don't get into that. That's not how I see things. I see things as this body has limits, and there's things that we cannot see. Can you see the microwave that are in your microwave? No, because you cannot see them, because that's outside of the limits of your human experience. You need tools to be able to see them. So there's is there a metaphysical reality that at the same time is interacting, that we stem from? Why not? I like to have doors open. So why not? If it can't be, it's also can't be.
Mm-hmm.
You have to accept both. So I decide to accept that there's something in me that stems from that source, and this is the source of me, and I am just the extension, the physical extension of that. So when I separate the two, it helps me think. It helps me do introspection and analyze myself. And it helped me in meditation also. It helped me. I'm always talking to my source. I'm trying to be connected to my source. I'm trying to be aligned with who I am really. Is it like a seed inside of you? Is it coming from the metaphysical? I don't give a shit. Like, what's the real answer to that? I just feel that I'm separated, that I'm just an extension of something more complex. Let's just say that like that.
But
I'm diverging a bit, but
yeah, because I just want to ask you, if I follow you, like when we are feeling overwhelmed or drained, is it our soul? I mean, and I know I'm asking on purpose the question because I understand you, right? Or do you think it's the top part that is feeling drained, or do you think it's another part that is feeling drained?
no, that I believe it's you're misaligned.
Between your
It's the
soul,
misalignment that drains the energy. Exactly.
between what and what?
Exactly. Between who you truly are and who you are being right now. And the more you're misaligned, the more I just had this image. Like, let's say, oh, it's really funny. Oh God. I just remembered an image I had in a dream. And I had this dream at one point, and I woke up and I could clearly see exactly what it was. And I don't know why I dreamt about that, but it kind of helped me understand this concept. And what I saw is that, let's say you have a mothership, okay? You're on the sea, and the mothership is your soul. And your soul is a big ship. It knows where it's going. It has the wind. It always got the right place, because that's you, and is the perfect. The physical you is a small boat that is behind the mothership. And when you follow in the same path as the mothership breaks the wave, and what left behind is the easiest path that you can take. You just follow in the wind, you just follow in the path of the mothership, and your journey is the easiest it can be. But every time that you deviate and that you get out, it's just that I don't know the name of the what's
I mean, the
behind the
sail.
ship.
I think it's the sail, but I'm
Sail?
not sure. I'm not
No,
sure.
no. Like what's behind the waves that are created behind the ship that makes like a V, and the middle of the V is really, really calm. There's no wave. It's like there's less. That's the area of least resistance. And but if you go out of that V, and you're the ship, and you're the small ship, and you go out of the V, then you hit the waves, and then you hit resistance, and then you need to put more power into your motor, or you need to engage more energy to be able to just follow the ship of your soul because you are not aligned with its path. So you are in the waves and the waves are crushing on you, but you're just a small boat. So it's really hard for you to go through that. And you feel like you have to drain so much energy to just be able to follow
Mm-hmm.
until you deviate again and you come back behind your mothership. And then everything feels easy. Everything's feel no resistance. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'm just sailing. I'm just cruising right now. Everything is perfect. I'm aligned. And then for some reason, after a couple months of being behind, you're looking around, you're doing other things. Maybe you don't have the hand on the steering wheel, and then whoops, and then you deviate again, and then boom, you go out of the V and you come back in the wild waves, and you're like, fuck, and you drain all your energy, and then you have to come back.
That's
This image
approximately
is so
that, yes.
powerful for me.
That's approximately that.
Yeah, that's like so. And in that example, it would make you two things. It would make you, the soul is your mothership, and you also, your physical, you would be the small ship behind. So you're not only one ship, you're two ships. So when you start looking at it like that, it gives a different understanding. And
I also believe that
it's,
it's not just your shape, you have also the shape of people around it. So which makes it even more a mess.
oh,
And when you're taken
definitely.
inside the overships, this is where it's wrong. I mean, for me,
Oh,
this is where for me it's wrong, because it happens at work, it happens at, personally, like, how many times you have been at work and someone decided a thing's a certain way and you don't agree, like whether it's ethically, whether it's, a question of values, or whether it's just the way you wanted to do it, and you're feeling like, doesn't work for me, like I don't get it, and you're getting like maybe emotional about a project or something like that, and suddenly you're like, yeah, that doesn't work for me. And sometimes you have people externally that says, yeah, but maybe it's not the way you want it to work, and you're like, oh, yeah. Who called you? Man, I would like to finish by your tips about dealing with that, with overwhelming and all that. I'm gonna say mine. Mine is
oh, I feel that could be a two-part episode.
yeah, no, yeah, possibly. I think we'll talk about that again, obviously. And I think mine is twofold. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
mine is coming back at a list of things that makes you come back to the path, whether it's work or personally. You know, I know I talked about that already, but that's really me. Second thing, running, because while I'm running long distance, I can meditate at the same time. I know it's super weird when I say that to people. It's just that sometimes I'm not kidding. Like, I was running a 15-kilometer this week, and then I just lost completely like 2 or 3 kilometers that I don't remember the path at all, because I was focusing on on feeling just relaxed. It's super weird. So that's my two things.
And, well, that's funny because what you just said is just doing things that are more you, that
Yeah.
you like. You want to know the tip I would give you? The tip I would give you is so fucking simple, because again, I believe life is so simple that that's why we don't understand it. It's just too simple. Uh, do more of what you like and do less of what you don't like. That's as simple as that. And to be able to do that, because again, it's simple and people would say, okay, how do I do that? First, stop caring about what people think. Care about what you think. Care about you. That's you. When you're off in the bushes, you need to care about you. You need to say, look, I have such a good example of me not feeling well and doing something that was so silly, that if I would care about what people think, I would have never done it, but it made me feel so good to do it. I'm a child inside, okay? When I was a child, I fucking loved climbing trees. I fucking loved it. It's like I'm a little monkey inside. Okay. And then I remember I was in Montreal. It was like at the end of my relationship with the crazy bitch. And, and then I was feeling so bad. And I went to see that. And in fact, I got told that I went to see a really good friend of mine that she's an energy healer. But that's funny. I saw her 3 times and we pretty much never did energy healing. We just sat down and talked. Um, and then she told me exactly that. Matt, just what do you like to do? Like, what do you feel like doing right now? And the first thing that came to my mind was, I want to climb a tree. And I told her, and she was like, for real? And go climb go climb a tree? Like, that's what you want to do? And I'm like, yeah, I have no clue why I want to do that, but it just makes me happy to think about doing that. So I said, you know what? Here's your $100 for your advice. And then I went out. I went out and I went into a park in Plain Center, Montreal. And then there was so many people around. And I just said, you know what? That's the only tree I can find here. And it's so big. And for some reason, there's low branches and I can totally climb it because I'm also really good at climbing tree. So I parked my car, got out, started running, and I ran, and I arrived on the tree, and I, like fucking Indiana Jones, like I put my feet on the tree and I jumped and I grabbed the first branch and I just went all the way up the big pine tree. And I was at the top of the tree. And for some reason, nobody saw me. I went like so quick and I jumped. And after that, there's many branches, so people were not seeing me. I was on the top of the tree. And that moment changed things for me. So simple. But I was there and I was hugging the tree. And I was like, wow, such a little thing can make me feel good like that. And that's just what I should do. I should do more of what I like and less of what I don't like. Because when you're occupied doing things you like, you won't think about the things you don't like, and you won't think about the things that are going bad or whatever. And all the problems that you think are real are going to solve themselves just because you focus on doing more of what you like and what makes you feel good. And now when I'm here in Mexico and we go on these excursions with friends, sometimes we go in the woods and I always stop somewhere and I climb a random tree. And Jamie, she just laugh at me because she's seen me climbing trees, but I do more of it because I like it. And she's like, oh, let him be, he's just climbing a tree. But that's part of my happiness. And as silly as it sounds, it makes me feel good. So do more of what you like, do less of what you don't like, and stop caring so much about what people think. If you want to care about what someone thinks, care about what you think. Care about what your deep you thinks and need and want. And it's time to take care of that. Take care of that person. The first person you will live with all your life is you. You have a relationship with you that is an all-lifer, if I can say. All your life you will be in a relationship with you. So make sure it's a good one. If you want to care about a relationship, care first about the relationship you have with yourself. And then you'll be able to care about the other relationship correctly. That's what switched things for me. When the be yourself and have fun, it's
I was
just
about
that.
to say,
Be yourself
do you want to
is
conclude?
caring about who you are.
I was about to say, do you want to conclude?
That's yeah. I'm just on a roll. I just feel these things coming out of me. But yeah, it's just what it is.
Man.
Yeah, I started slow, but now I'm fucking high RPM, and yeah, those two words are simple. They're so simple. Be yourself. They're so simple that they're hard to picture. What does it mean to be yourself? Well, that's what it means. Find who you truly are and make sure you do things that are exactly that. And then it's gonna make you be yourself. and then you will feel less drained. And do that exercise. Do that exercise, man. When you don't feel good, when you feel in the bushes, when you feel drained, whatever you feel bad, come inside and say, who am I being that is not myself right now?
Yeah.
What am I
No, I know.
doing that is not what I would want to do? And you always get the answer. And just act on what you like, and that's it.
Yeah.
So be yourself and have fun. That's my ultimate advice.
I'm gonna finish by my advice, because I never said it. Is that time is precious, and there is no do-over. Okay, you have only one life, so have fun living it, and don't lose time in shit. That's it.
Oh, don't lose time in shit. The older you get, the less time you spend in shit.
Exactly. So thanks for listening. If you like it, you can find us, by the way, on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you can find us on any podcast platform. You can share it with your friends. Please, 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 if you love it and you want to ask us a question, you can talk to us by Instagram at naked_podcast, or on Facebook, which must be at naked podcast. I'm not sure. You will find us anyway.
Yeah.
We don't receive comments that are put on Apple, but yeah, it's approximately that. So if you want to ask us a question directly on Instagram, that would be the best, or Facebook.
Yeah, definitely ask us question. We love it. The episode where we answered the question, was it of what's her name, Cassia? It was amazing. I loved it, and people loved it also. So yeah, don't hesitate. Send us questions. Send us comments. If you totally disagree with what we say, we definitely want your opinion, because
Like the
it
one
makes
last
us
week.
grow. And yeah, like the one last week. and, and also we have a little surprise for you that's coming soon. I've been working a bit on like the behind the scene, and like our platform where we distribute and everything, and making things better. And we are gonna come up with a little new structure to the episode soon, and you're gonna have a way to support us in another way, and we are really happy to enable that soon. So again, listen to Phil, and I really love the voice that you take when you do the intro or the outro. It's like you take a more happy, serious voice, and I really like this.
It's
I
my
really like it.
it's my trailer voice. It's my trailer
Trailer
voice.
voice.
It's not the same. It's my
All right,
meditation voice. See you next
meditation
week.
voice. Yeah. Thanks. Amazing discussion again. See you next week, my friend.
Thanks, man.